when Manchester United falls, you don't think twice.
No midfielder in the Premier League breaks more defensive lines per 100 passes than Youri Tielemans. Not one. He's one of the most dangerous passers in Europe, and for £35 million, he will help solve a problem Manchester United have had for the past decade. He's spent his career making everyone else around him better. He's not the quickest, he's not the biggest, but what is it that actually makes him so effective? And at 29 on the biggest stages ever played, what can we expect him to change at United? Now let me tell you the secrets to Tielemans' game and why I think you're looking at one of the bargain signings of the season.
Decision making is everything. Some take time, others take seconds.
As I've already said, Tielemans is one of Europe's very best passers. His range is excellent. He's been the orchestrator of every team he's ever played in, setting the rhythm of play from the base of midfield or from between the lines, slowing a game down, or accelerating it out of nowhere with a single pass. That's what Tielemans does. It starts with his awareness. He knows where the space is, knows where his teammates are. It allows him to play out calmly whilst under pressure, stays composed in tight areas, and he can carry the ball out of danger rather than panicking and giving it away. People question his athleticism, but part of that composure comes from the knowledge he has that he won't be pushed off the ball easy. When he's carrying the ball, he's strong and genuinely difficult to push off it, and the numbers back it up too. He ranks 4th among Premier League midfielders for offensive duels won. All that doubt about his athleticism ignores how hard he actually is to dispossess. So if this sounds familiar, it's because part of his game is reminiscent of another United midfielder. Tielemans escapes pressure the same way Cobby does, through intelligence and technical ability, rather than actual raw pace. When he does need to move, he's shifty enough over the first few yards to get away from a pressing player, but can't cover those big spaces, which we'll cover later. So yeah, he's functional in these areas, but really where Tielemans' special ability is his passing. He ranks 9th among Premier League midfielders for 4 passes per 90, but it's not just how often he plays forward, it's how well. It's the weight of his pass. It's properly world class. Played at the right speed for his teammates to take it in their stride. Sounds like Bruno, right? And there's real disguise in his passes. Defenders rarely can adjust in time. He recognises the space, spots runners quickly. It allows him to play cutting passes through defensive lines. He's a threat even when he's deep in his own half. One moment from Tielemans can put his team under counter-attack, and he's an accomplished long passer too. Completing 4 long progressive passes per 90, it's in the top 20% in the league. He's able to switch play in an instant with ease. And it doesn't really matter which foot he uses. He can ping the pass off his right or left. Most importantly for United though, I'd say, is he's comfortable in settled possession against a defence that's dug in. He can unlock a defensive block with line-breaking passes that a lot of midfielders don't see. And as I said, no midfielder in the Premier League breaks more defensive lines per 100 passes than he does. First out of everybody. He's able to do this because of a genuinely excellent vision and a technical ability to back it up. He also ranks in the top 11% of the league for completed through balls. He's not wasteful, he actually finds his man with the risk he takes. This creativity shows up in the final third also. Vision and perfectly weighted first-time passes are a common feature of his chance creation from the edge of the box. And he's also got the flair to do the unexpected and manufacture something out of nothing. I call him a creator from deep and in the final third. And that's not really all. He's also an excellent crosser. Got variety. In-swinger from the left, a ball deep into the box. Šeško will be licking his lips at the thought of playing with Tielemans. And to boot, he's also a bit of a threat himself. His long shots are dangerous enough that opponents have to close him down rather than sit off him and maintain shape. And he's got a knack for arriving with the goal in some big moments. An FA Cup final, a Europa League final. Sometimes when the stage gets bigger, so does Tielemans' impact with those goals. So how does this actually translate to United? That's the big question, right? United need to do a better job of retaining possession by building up patiently. It's been a failure of United for the best part of a decade now, and Tielemans will help solve that. But he's also incredibly well suited to something United already do well under Carrick, drawing opponents into small congested areas before releasing quick passes to create numerical advantages elsewhere on the pitch. It's practically tailor-made for Tielemans' strengths, and Carrick has already shown he knows how to protect a technically gifted, maybe less athletic midfielder rather than expose them. Now the current players in the squad should benefit greatly from his arrival, and Mbeumo should thrive on Tielemans' vertical passing into the channels to launch counters. Šeško will be loving the service. crosses whipped into the box. And it also takes some of the creative burden off Bruno, who will be able to operate in the final third a lot more, instead of being the sole creator of everything United do, and especially in those games against low blocks, where Bruno's had to drop so deep. Tielemans can do that now. Defensively, Tielemans isn't spectacular, right? He's no passenger. He can read danger well, can track runners over short distances. Genuinely a good defensive duel winner too. Can spring into a challenge to win the ball back and pounces the moment an opponent takes a heavy touch. The numbers make it clear kind of how good he is. Among Premier League midfielders, he's in the top 8% in the league for ground duels won per 90. That's quite impressive. But what's more impressive is that he's in the top 4% for the percentage of defensive ground duels he wins. He's also an excellent shot blocker, particularly inside his own box. He's 5th among midfielders in the league for shots blocked there, 5th overall. A brave kind of defending you wouldn't really associate with him, but something he's good at. But no player arrives without question mark. This isn't a video just to hype him up and say he's God's gift to football. And Tielemans is no different. He's got his strengths and we've spoken about them, but he's no ground eater. When he isn't paired with a more athletic partner, his physical limitations can be exposed, particularly on longer recovery runs, say on the transition. He's fine defending the space in front of him over short distances, it's the longer recoveries that become the issue. But this doesn't mean that he can't cover a lot of ground. For all his passing brilliance, he isn't a carrier either. He ranks just 68th among Premier League midfielders for carrying frequency per 90. Progression for Tielemans happens through the pass, almost exclusively. There's also a workload question that's worth taking seriously. His minutes have declined for 3 straight seasons now. Last season was his lowest output across all competitions since his first full campaign in the Premier League. Now, is that the toll of a long career catching up with him, or was it just a one-off, considering in the 6 years previous, he played in 36, 32, 31, 32, 38 and 37 out of the 38 Premier League games in those respective seasons. None of these are deal breakers on their own, but United will need to manage his minutes carefully, pair him with the right profile player alongside him, and a few other things to try and get the best out of him. Now, one thing I definitely want to point out is that leadership has followed Tielemans throughout his career. He captained every age group he played at Anderlecht with the armband chosen democratically by his own teammates. He became the youngest ever Belgian to play in the Champions League, the 9th youngest player in the competition's history at the time. Unai Emery clearly holds him in high regard, because after Villa's Europa League triumph, he had this to say. He goes, "He's my son. He's intelligent and a good player, and today we needed him." Tielemans, of course, already has links at United. He's played with Rashford at Villa, he's played with Johnny Evans at Leicester, he's played with Maguire at Leicester, and Senny for Belgium. But for Tielemans, the big question: can he solve one of United's biggest problems of the past decade? On his own, in midfield, no single signing fixes 10 years of failed possession play, but he gives this midfield something it hasn't had in a long time. Someone who can genuinely dictate a game from deep, or between the lines. Someone the team can play through instead of around. He's spent his career making every team better: Leicester, Monaco, Villa, Belgium, and now at the biggest club he's ever played for, he gets to do it with more talent around him than ever before. £35 million for a player operating at the top of the Premier League passing charts, with a wealth of experience, and arguably right at his peak, or maybe a year or two behind, we'll see. But for me, that's smart business. United have finally signed the conductor, and now it's up to Michael Carrick to assemble an orchestra worthy of it.
No one's around to judge me. I can't see clear.